Welcome back, guys, to a recap every single NFL team for the 2022 season. We're in the NFC East with the New York Giants. And the New York Giants, after that disaster what they did in 2021, hiring Joe Judge, it was just an absolute disaster of a season. They go into this 2022 off season and they get, they change shit up. They get Joe Shalon, who's a former assistant GM at the Bills. He brings in former offensive core Brian Daboll, and in the draft, they got Thibodeaux, who was the first overall pick in the 2022 draft. Evan Neal for that offensive tackle, for that offensive line, Evan Neal. And they got Wan'Dale Robinson, a wide receiver, Cordell Flat, cornerback. And you look at this team, even though the roster is bad and you've got a lot of holes to fix in this team, what I liked about Brian Daboll's first year in the NFL compared to Nathaniel Hack's or whoever else was like a Kevin O'Connell or like that. Like, he had a dead roster. Like, this roster shouldn't have gone far as it should have, and that was down to Brian Daboll's leader of men. He kind of reminds me of like a Dan Campbell in a way. Like he knows he hasn't got all the tools in his roster yet to make a good go the playoffs, but he's doing the best thing. Like he's making average players look good. And I know through the regular season they kind of fell off and they finished third. Was it like second or something in the division? Third or something in the division, whatever it was. They did fall. They had a 9-7-1 record. They went to the division game, and ultimately that was a bit too far for them. Went to the division game, lost 7-38 to the Eagles. You had Barkley, who had 1,312 yards, rushing yards. Passing yards, he was 26 in passing yards. Points for, he was tied 15th. Points against, tied 15th. Rushing yards, 4th. What do you need in this draft? A wide receiver, linebacker, 2 linebackers, wide receiver, inside linebacker, running back, tight end, and you need to think about the quarterback position. They have a 23rd pick overall. Maybe they need to trade up in that position, get yourself a quarterback. That is one thing you need to address, is the quarterback position. I've heard a lot of things about Rodgers and him going to the Giants and shit. Like, you don't need Rodgers. Stay away from Rodgers. You need to get yourself somebody in this draft, a quarterback in this draft, and can build that could potentially be a franchise player for the New York Giants. And also you can trade a couple of these players away. Like, I would trade away Barkley and Kenny Golladay. I mean, you're not going to improve them any better than they are. In my opinion, trade Barkley and Kenny Golladay away. You've saved some cap space as well. So you can invest in the off season and put some of that for 2024, 2025, and stuff like that. So ultimately, it depends what they do in the draft. But again, it's exciting. In my opinion, it's exciting to see what happens in New York if you're a Giants fan.